keep some of our oldest comics.
Oh.
If you're very careful, I can let you take out a copy of Action Comics #1. Go ahead, open it up. You can see some pages inside there.
Oh, yo, oh my gosh. Is it?
It's a little dusty.
Oh my god. I am so sorry. So sorry. Here you go.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Hey everybody, this is Perch. We're several months away from Free Comic Book Day, but we are starting to see the ads. There's this brand new X-Men title. It's going to come out. Well, I mean, it's not brand new. It's Avengers and X-Men, the Uncanny Avengers, the whatever. But anyway, it looks terrible. I'm sorry. And look, I want to be happy about these things. I want to look positively about these things, but this roster just feels terrible. But anyway, it's going to be part of New Comic Book Day. We're going to learn what Jonathan Hickman's up to, something Doctor Strange related, even though they've said it's not Doctor Strange related. Pretty sure it is. There'll be some Spider-Man Venom shit. Getting us ready for the fall crossover of whatever Spider-Man's going on after Summer of Carnage or whatever the hell we're doing. Summer of Symbiote, Summer Symbiote Lovin'. Anyway. So this viewer asked the same question. Hey, Perch, is Free Comic Book Day actually a good thing? Let me share a train of thought I have on this. So the logic behind Free Comic Book Day is we let you come in for free comics and the greater foot traffic gets you buying more stuff. But these days, the people showing up for Free Comic Book Day you already have as customers. You might boost their sales on one day, but I'm not sure their annual spend with you will go up. At this point, we all know that 95% of Free Comic Book Day comics are worthless. A tiny handful accumulate in value, and there are never big two books. Well, no, there are. There are the big two books, but they're these. They give you a little short story, and then they typically are collecting the trade. And both companies realize that not a lot of people are reading some of this stuff, so they don't make them that important anyway. And I know some stores have rules now that you only get a free comic if you buy something, so basically ensuring their profit for the day. And I've seen some sales ideas where they'll just do like a get this free comic book and get an X comic for just $2. Yeah, there's a lot of bundle deals. Free Comic Book Day, in all seriousness, they really should just commit to the idea of having those comics subsidized completely. The comic book store still has to pay a bit for this promotion, and they want the retail store to share in the whole thing. And a lot of retail stores are just opting out. They're doing Free Comic Book Day, but they're not ordering the free comics. And they're just having kind of a celebration, or they're getting rid of some other stock that they have that was in the quarter bin. I don't know. So why don't the big two rethink this in a smart way? Why not do a big annual first appearances dollar comic sale? Something that makes both retailers and publishers some money. Still gets a supposed benefit of greater foot traffic and gives customers something good. The big two have a huge amount of heroes and villains. That's a lot of first appearances. Would I come into the store for a Free Comic Book Day preview of Fear State? No. Would I come in if it was the best way to get a dollar comic copy of the first appearance of Wildcat? Yeah, I would. But asking you, because you've been on that side of the counter, is there a long-term benefit or just instant sales gratification? And would a dollar comic day be better than Free Comic Day? Well, it'd be different. I mean, the argument that we get here is that it's bringing in collectors. It's bringing in new customers. That's the big argument. And I think that that's becoming increasingly a dubious argument, because when new customers come in a lot of cases, they're coming in because they've seen the comic book movie and they're looking for something related to the comic book movie. The comics don't really relate to that. The ones that are free on the table often are just kind of a bunch of random stuff. Parents are like, hey, this will get my kid to read. But it's not succeeding like it used to. Once upon a time, I mean, not even that long ago, probably 5-6 years ago, Free Comic Book Day did do a better job bringing in new customers, people who hadn't been in the shop. It was still unclear if those people came back, but enough of them did that it did pencil out. But today, as you mentioned, Free Comic Book Day, it doesn't get the same media hype that it used to. People are just a lot less interested in the entire concept, and so it's not where it was. And so it's become this kind of speculator thing where you get in to get the first chapter in the new DC story that's of the event that's coming out. I mean, that's what it's turned into. This year you got a little Dark Crisis teaser. You got, I don't remember, Dark Web, was that what it was? I don't even remember what the teaser was. Oh no, it was for the Hellfire Gala. We got a little teaser of Mary Jane being worn as a skin suit or some shit going on there. So that's kind of where we're at now with this comic, and so it does have to change. Now, first appearance is not a bad idea. I think probably what you have to do, as much as it would cause people to kind of grit their teeth and hate it, you do need to tie it again back to the movies for a period of time. You need to be able to do a tether of saying, Free Comic Book Day, if it's in May, big summer movies coming out in June. This is a comic that's going to kind of showcase the origin of the character that's going to be in the movie, and it's going to be free. And then, I'm really serious. You got to get it subsidized outside of, the comic store taking the burden at this moment. I'm completely in agreement that comic book stores and retail stores should always take a burden of their marketing. They can't just get all this stuff for free. But we're also living in a world where, the comic shops are rapidly changing their business model by changing the stuff that they're carrying. And so in that world, you're going to have to do more. You cannot just, put the burden on them and just kind of, expect it to work out the same. It won't work out the same. And so that's just where we're at now. Anyway, it's all of this just goes to say that marketing campaigns, they've got to do a couple things. They've got to get people into the store. They've got to get people excited about whatever the product is that is being promoted. They've got to try and encourage somebody to come back. So a good idea for one other thing I do not understand is the Free Comic Book Day stories that the big two put out are little teasers for events. But as I've mentioned before, and it's completely true. I've seen this time and time again. New comic readers do not start with events. Why would you? In many cases, the events are teased for months and months and months, or sometimes years beforehand. You don't know who the big bad is. I mean, imagine coming into King in Black and you're like, who the hell is this? There's a null space god turning New York into goo. I like, what is even going on? It doesn't make any sense. And so a new comic book reader is not going to, jump on board with King in Black as their very first entrant into the Marvel Universe. So all these characters in it, they don't understand. So you're far better off saying, all right, what movie is coming out next summer? Is it, I don't even know what movie's coming out next summer. Are we doing something with Kang? Put out a Kang origin story. Hell, and you could reprint that Kang #1 with a new cover, and say, get to know these characters. But the other thing you could do is, if you're going to do an original story, end it in a cliffhanger, not a, teeing up the event, in a literal cliffhanger. And hell, cheap out. If you're really trying to appeal to new audiences and new people, then you can go ahead and, just print one of the old comics. Print the Death of Superman, where you've got Doomsday has killed him, and you're like, oh shit, what's going to happen now? And you don't know what's going to happen, so you're going to need to you're going to need to pick up other comics, go to that comic store, buy some back issues, whatever else. Who cares? But end it in a actual cliffhanger, not as the villain that you've never heard of before is standing over a table and he's thinking about villain things, and there's a big plot that he's preparing, and it's going to play out in the course of this event that's not going to be available for probably several months or half a year, or like the Hellfire Gala. Like, if you're a new comic collector and you come into that thing and you're like, okay, here's Mary Jane, and there's some kind of Spider-Man story, and Mary Jane is broken up, or I don't know, who's she working for again? The Krakoa? What the fuck is that? Some island of? I thought the X-Men were living in a mansion somewhere, and Professor X had that big yellow, hover chair that he's in. But okay, she's working for the X-Men somehow, and she's going to an island for a gown party, and then there's a robot character that's going to kidnap her? Like, what the fuck is any of this? Like, nobody is going to get any of that. And so make it so it's accessible. If you're going to do free comic day, the content itself does need to appeal to, if you're trying to get new customers. Now, if you're trying to get existing collectors, totally get it. But if you're trying to get new customers, you got to appeal to new customers. And, don't do it via the events. It's stupid. Get the business model worked out, and maybe even consider going a little bit earlier. Do free comic book day in April, where you have plenty of lead time, and then piggyback off the movies. Sad to say, if your goal is to get the normies who don't collect comic books, well, they're probably coming there because of pop culture and the movies, so you better go all in on that. And then maybe you'll get them coming back. Anyway, nice suggestion. Thank you very much for the mail. Let me know what you think. Are you excited for free comic book day? We're still several months off. Do you think it needs to change, alter, shift, whatever? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe, of course, and thanks for listening.